Now we're going to go into a film that we have another Disney film coming out. It airs on the Disney Channel the day I'm airing this. So it's going to premiere on the Disney Channel tonight at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Then on Thanksgiving Day, it'll be on Disney Plus, which is when I will watch it, and you'll probably watch it this Saturday or Sunday, maybe. But this is Dashing Through the Snow. Dashing Through the Snow is a film that I had very little hope for. This trailer did not do a ton for me, but I went into this because I love a good family Christmas film. This is about Eddie Garrett, a good-hearted man who has lost all his belief in the wonder of Christmas. While spending time with his 9-year-old daughter named Charlotte on Christmas Eve, he befriends a mysterious man in a red suit named Nick. Ludacris plays Eddie Garrett. Little Howery plays Nick. These two have good chemistry. While I can see how some people thought that Ludacris did have a bit of like a woodenness to him, I think that's kind of how you had to be in this role, because if he overplayed this, it would have been overacting to every word, because I think he played this role very, very well. We normally know him as either a star in the Fast and Furious films, or he's a small role in this, or as a rapper, right? For his first family-esque film, I thought he did a very solid job here. Very solid job. The girl is very likable. The story is fun. It has a lot of good comedic moments besides one line that I still don't like. And it's said by Ludacris. His line is, "It's Ludacris." They made Ludacris... They made him say the line, "It's ludicrous." That's a little too on the nose for me. That got on my nerves. That's a line I do not like. But I personally think that I could see myself rewatching this one if someone hadn't seen it before. Like, if my family wants to watch this on Thanksgiving, I think they'll have a fun time with it. Now, are there issues? Yes, there are. There are issues. Mainly because, one, we don't know if he's actually Santa or not, because they do add in a bit of a sort of like a cartel story to it. Where the leader of this group is played by Oscar from The Office. Not very intimidating. He's not intimidating. He plays this way over the top. He plays this way over the top. At least with something like a Martin Short in the Santa Claus 3, the escape clause, he knew how to play this. And I think Oscar knew how to play this role. But with this character, I think you needed a bit more of a serious tone to it to make him a little bit more menacing, because he did have some menacing-esque moments, but there were more comedic beats than anything else. I enjoyed the comedy here. I enjoyed the chemistry between our two stars. However, I did not enjoy the story of them having to go after Nick for this iPad because he misplaced this one iPad at the house that they were at. I did not like that, because while that could have added a lot of comedic beats to it, it mainly felt like the story was a bit messier than it needed to be, because he's jumping out of cars. He's running around. He did a thing like in Hocus Pocus, where there's a musical number. There's a musical number. They go up there and sing, and magically they get away.
Yeah.
They get away. So they did a bit of a Hocus Pocus-esque scene in there, which, yeah, it was sort of funny because I did get a good chuckle out of it, but it's a dumb film. As a dumb family Christmas film, I enjoyed this overall enough to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I'm not saying there aren't issues. Like with the story, like with Oscar's good performance, but I thought if it was done a little bit differently, it would have been more effective. Now, we had a discussion where families may not, or kids may not enjoy this film, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because to me, with the Santa Claus, it's more of like a family kids film. It's about Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it has Santa in it.
Yeah.
It has Santa in it. But the thing is, I think that this is a family film because there are moments here where I think adults will really get some good enjoyment out of it, and why they did introduce the iPad thing, the poorly CGI'd reindeer didn't help matters much. Now,
Yeah.
the poorly CGI'd reindeer, not saying much because this could not have had the best budget. But for the film it was, I enjoyed this enough to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I'm hoping I enjoy the Naughty Nine more once I watch it on Thanksgiving Day, but we'll just have to see. What did you think of this film, and do you think that this is a film that people will watch down the line, or do you think it's just going to be from person to person?
So I didn't like this near as much as you did. For me, this film just didn't work. I do not like Lil Rel Howery. I can never say his name.
Yeah.
He did okay in the role. I've seen him do better in other roles. I think his character was just a very confusing character. You know, he's supposed to be Santa, but he doesn't necessarily feel like a Santa. You know, he don't have the big white beard or anything. He says, you know, it's not white because he dyed it or whatever. And so his character is just a very mixed character for me. I didn't really care a lot for Ludacris in this one. I just thought he was very unlikable for nearly most of the pretty much all the movie until the end. And you know, the storyline with the iPad for me, it was a very confusing storyline because he'll Santa said, you know, that one minute he's taking it because he's trying to stop them from ripping off this place that I can't remember what it was that they were supposed to be ripping off, but he says he's taking it for that. Then he's saying it was a mistake, that he didn't mean to take the iPad when he goes to tell what happened that night and how he came about having the iPad. And they never really clarify exactly why he ended up with it. Did he steal it on purpose? Did he not steal it on purpose? You know, it was a movie that was just, for me, very messy. It just didn't work. I didn't feel like, for me, it had moments where it felt like it was for little kids, and then it felt like it had moments where it tried to be for adults, but I don't see adults really loving this one all that much. I mean, I could be wrong, but to me, this is probably going to be one of those films where kids are just going to be okay with it. And families watching this will be like, okay, that was an okay one-time watch. You know, I mean, when you got supposedly Santa jumping out of cars and crowd surfing and stealing stuff or not stealing something, you know, it mixed up or whatever, you know, it felt like they didn't know whether to make Santa bad or good. It's like when they said that he stole it, they got scared and worried that people would think, why is Santa stealing stuff at Santa? So then they changed it to say, oh, well, he accidentally grabbed it. And I know you brought up the fact that the reindeer clicker issue we had at towards the end of the movie. I mean, it overall for me was just a messy film. I mean, I gave it a 2.5. I mean, that's probably generous from what I'm saying with everything I'm saying now, but it's definitely not one I would watch again. It's not one I can see tons of families loving and rewatching every year. I say there'll be people that do love it or do enjoy it enough, but I just I can't see myself rewatching this one ever.
All right.